Can we only know what safety is once we have felt unsafe? The question is not, can we only feel safe when we felt unsafe? The question is more to do with our awareness of safety, knowing whether we have it or lack it. The theory being that how we define one thing often depends on how we define its antithesis. By knowing everything that it's not, we come to know the thing itself. It makes me think of the age-old cliche, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. I googled this quote to make sure I wrote it down correctly. It's so overused that each time you see it, it seems to be written slightly differently. Shifting tenses, exchanging verbs. In my heavy-duty research, I stumbled on a quote from Taylor Swift that amends the original, and I think I prefer it. Taylor says, "People say you don't know what you've got till it's gone, but the truth is you just never thought you'd ever lose it." Taylor's words feel particularly relevant for me in the context of the pandemic. Feeling safe was not something I took for granted, just something that I didn't expect to lose. So, what does it mean to feel safe, and consequently to feel unsafe? There are the obvious aspects of safety: having food to eat, water to drink, shelter, access to education and healthcare. Then there are the less obvious, but just as vital forms of safety that I will refer to as sanctuary. Sanctuaries are islands. We hop from one to the next, enjoying moments of relief and relaxation from the stress we encounter on a daily basis. Sanctuary is knowing that there are people out there who will always be happy to keep you company, to offer you their home for a visit when you need a change of scenery. Sanctuary is the weekend, going out for a drink or for dinner, going to the movies, browsing a bookshop, watching a game of footy, having brunch, going for a drive. Birthdays and Christmas, family lunches and presents, a sanctuary. Swimming and travelling, being with people, being outside, holding things, seeing things, buying things, learning things. Sanctuary. At best, many of these sanctuaries have been controlled or mediated during the pandemic. At worst, they've been inaccessible. Oftentimes, this has left us lonely, bored, or stressed. The number of people suffering from mental health issues has increased dramatically. I guess we didn't know how much we needed our sanctuaries until they were taken away. Actually, no. We didn't expect those sanctuaries to be taken from us, so we didn't prepare for it. My mental health has not been at its best for the last 18 months. When I first began to struggle, I thought it was strange. People who I spoke to asked me how much I felt I'd suffered because of the pandemic. I said that I didn't really think I had. I said the problems I was confronting were only the most basic inconveniences because I was safe. I had a home to live in, I could keep studying and keep working. So many people, in so many ways, had been more directly threatened by our circumstances. I didn't lose the crucial parts of safety, but I lost my sanctuaries. That has impacted me greatly. Safety is relative. Whatever threatens you most, threatens you most. Physical and psychological reactions can seem inexplicable, unjustifiable, but they're not. We can't blame ourselves for the way we feel. Luckily, I had a natural instinct to acquire new sanctuaries. I learnt to cook new dishes, and in case you're wondering, no, sourdough was not one of them, but I dabbled in dal and whipped up batches of banh mi. I looked forward to watching the Tigers play footy on the weekend, more than I have before. It was a rare milestone that punctuated time passing, halted the way that weeks have seemed to bleed into one another. I was organisational. I rearranged bookshelves, wrote lists, sorted the wine collection, and compartmentalised the fridge. I discovered new TV shows. Oh, so many of them. Old, new, good, bad. There was Hacks, The Chair, The White Lotus, Ted Lasso, Succession, Starstruck, This Way Up, The OC, Girls, Superstore, The Spanish Princess, Ginny and Georgia, Firefly Lane, Shrill, The Flight Attendant, Game Face, Bump, Bridgerton, Offspring, Switched at Birth, 9 Perfect Strangers, Queens of Mystery, Emily in Paris, Anne with an E, New Girl, Love Life, Outer Banks, Sex and the City, Never Have I Ever, Schitt's Creek. I could go on. Seriously. I was also nourished by nostalgia. I slipped into the comfort of favourite rom-coms, reread books that were my favourite when I was 14. I've done normal knitting, I've done arm knitting, I've done a paint by numbers, I've played board games and cards, I've given my dad a haircut, I've gotten out the sewing machine and made a mask and a scrunchie, I've power cleaned the concrete in the courtyard and scrubbed the grout in my bathroom. I've gotten into gardening, walking, buying things I don't need online. Like, yeah, I might get to wear this velvet dress soon, even though I've basically been wearing tracksuit pants for 500 days. I think of these new sanctuaries as placebo sanctuaries. I know they don't fill the holes that my preferred sanctuaries have left behind, but I trick myself into thinking that they do. Maybe these placebo sanctuaries are just distractions from feeling unsafe, but they are vital. I wonder if we will get to a position where, as Taylor Swift would say, we are not worried about returning to the strange, sad time that has been this pandemic because we won't believe that it could ever happen again. I don't think so. Not for a long while. But then at least, I think, we will remember what it felt like to feel unsafe and relish our safety more for knowing what that insecurity felt like when we are safe again soon.